Up to this point, we have repeatedly recalled the idea of coordination using this label to qualify that action that shapes the work of the team. We have defined the boundaries of the team representative from time to time by goal, task, strategy, method, resources, and constraint. Speaking of coordination now allows us to understand how all the steps we have discussed so far are not intended as a linear path where a given aspect is fixed and resolved once and for all. In fact, coordination in excellent teams is incessant, uninterrupted, a never-ending operation, always and everywhere present in the working group. Let's take an example. Calling group members for the first meeting is coordination. To make the goal explicit is coordination. Defining a list of activities, writing the outcome of a decision on the board is coordination. Clarifying the deadlines in time is coordination. So the essence of coordination is to make order. But make order of what? In what way do we order? Since coordination means setting the goal, ensuring the methods, and mastering resources. In that sense, coordination is not meant to be an action that someone does individually, but rather as a joint action. Effective coordination embraces two concepts because it deals at the same time with the task, doing the right thing in the right way at the right time, which is the order, as much as the relationships. So creating and maintaining a virtuous interplay between action and relationship is therefore the challenge of coordination. All in this way will two further qualities emerge: motivation and trust. Do you remember we have already talked about those other team forces, collaboration and communication? So motivation can be defined as the desire to stay and to do with others, and the trust, which is the feeling of being able to rely on colleagues. And here we go. With coordination, our circle is squared. So now, what are the most important coordination actions that support the two qualities we have just talked about: motivation and trust? The first one is meaning. Coordination gives meaning by answering the following questions. Why are we doing this? Where do we want to go? What is it for? What advantage will we gain? For this reason, coordination requires the skills of interpersonal understanding. Coordination means being able to get in touch with the need to make sense, as well as negotiating a workspace in which the team can feel comfortable. The second one is energy. There are situations where work is stagnant, lack of energy, attention drops, and the task to perform looks like a mountain to climb. It's time to encourage the expression of propositional forces by the members. That was quite intense, wasn't it? Because increasing the team's energy is actually quite simple. For example, by giving the opportunity to those who may feel tired to declare it, and therefore adjusting each expectation so that tiredness cannot be confused with demotivation or disinterest. And by celebrating the achievement, albeit they are still partial, therefore the team has achieved an important victory on its path towards the goal. The third one is proximity. When coordination works to facilitate the sense of closeness and proximity between people, we are putting the relational dimension of the team's work into the foreground. In this sense, fitting proximity means maintaining relationship skills within the group. So, the ability to avoid judging is very important. In fact, a team that keeps the relational dimension high will work to seek solutions rather than find guilt. The fourth one is organizational climate. As we already said, proximity refers to the ability of each component of the team to consider others as meaningful interlocutors. In this sense, it's a mainly individual dimension. The organizational climate instead has to do with the perception of the overall quality of the internal relationships that qualify the team. So, in that sense, it's a collective dimension. A positive climate is linked to the feeling of being good together with others. A negative climate, on the contrary, is fueled by the fatigue of working with others. The fifth one is the most famous example. Giving the example is considered the first and the most effective coordination mode available to the team. How many times have you heard of leading by example? And the last one is cohesion. Coordination is made when a sense of cohesion in the team is promoted. How could you make this happen? Well, first of all, by reinforcing a sense of interdependence. What is achieved by the team is not the result of individual actions, but of the ability to intertwine such actions in a wider process. So, the analysis conducted so far allows us to focus on the coordination as the function that squares the circle of the team, because it plays a central role for the group to become an excellent team. If all these elements about coordination we have just mentioned are considered, it will be possible to activate communication, stimulate collaboration, fuel motivation and build trust. But just one last consideration: coordination should not be considered as a panacea. For this reason, I'd like to end by making a crucial distinction between coordination and coordinator. I have been focusing on coordination because in order to carry out effective group work, the function of coordination is essential rather than the coordinator. It sounds strange, doesn't it? The one who plays the role of coordinator is secondary. Why? Well, because if there is coordination, the team works. If there is only the coordinator, it's by no means desirable that he or she will be able to coordinate and so to make the team work effectively. This does not mean that it's not important to attribute coordinator roles, but it's vital to say that in any excellent team there is no one coordinator. In effective teams, team members know how to pass the coaching ball in a fluid way, allowing others to play the role of coordinator. Perhaps it's time to introduce another key concept to square the circle, the concept of leadership. But that is another story. So, until next time, see you. Ciao!